Anyone else? And even if you don't set goals, it's okay to tell me that, hey, I know what I don't set goals. Let's just be honest. That's what we're here. So we can help you. So I'm here for some of you guys about how you set goals. What about the others? How do you set goals? Or are you even setting goals? Or, did you used to do it in the past, but then life came in and you didn't really take it that seriously? Where are you with setting goals? I
Hi.
see two hands raised. Go ahead.
Hi, morning. This is Gail.
Hi,
Well,
Gail.
before I just used to write down what I would like to accomplish and tick off as I get them. But this year, so far, what I've done is I've written down some of the goals that I want to accomplish and giving them a timeline. And under the main goals, some of them I haven't done all. I would have set some steps in place for me to get to that particular goal.
Good. So you write them down, you give them a timeline, and then you put some steps in place so you can get that particular goal. Okay, awesome. I saw someone else who had raised their hand. Bernicia, you wanted to share?
Hi, good morning, everyone. So, what I did this year is that I wrote down most of the goals that I wanted to do, print pictures to go with it, and I'm working towards trying to see if I can achieve them before the year is out.
Good. Okay, good. And then we have Zoe says in the chat, she said she writes them down and she gives them a attainable lifetime, not deadline. And she preferred to use lifetime and not the word deadline. Interesting. You want to tell us a little bit more about that? Why you choose the word lifetime and not deadline? So as she types and respond, I think I saw another hand. Was it Antonia? Were you going to share?
Hi, good morning. Oh, yes, it was me. At one point in time, I used to always set goals. Like I would like every end of the year and stuff. I would literally sit down, write down goals, and then um, I never like put a timeline on it. But I just sort of set goals, things that I wanted to do, or things that I would like to accomplish within the year. But then sometimes I get off track, and then some of the goals were never met. So then I stopped writing it down altogether, and only started back only last year to write down the goals that I would like to accomplish and a timeline, so that I know that I need to accomplish it within the timeline.
Good. 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 Great. So you see, most of us are having the same responses. Okay, let me just check to see what Zoe said. Okay, she said that is the that is the word that got me. They end up dying. So I use lifetime because it gives it like, okay, I love that. I love that. I'm gonna feel that. I love that. That's awesome. So guess what? All of you are doing something right. But as we go through this repetition today, you will see what is missing, what's in missing pieces that makes you feel stuck and makes you feel defeated at the end, where you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm going around in circles and nothing seems to be happening because there's some issues that we need to address. So when we talk about goal setting, the definition of goal setting actually is, you guys can see my screen well because I'm seeing like something on my end is blocking. Okay, there we go. It's fine. Right. So when we talk about goal setting, the definition of goal setting can look differently depending on your lifestyle, depending on your values and your definition of success. And as you heard just now, when some of you guys shared how you set goals, you see that you're yet similar, but still slightly different based on how you do things. So your goals are always going to be unique to you, and that's a no-brainer because that's something that you need to as well. And you don't, this one thing that we need to always highlight, you don't need to look at anyone else's goals because many times we are looking at what other persons are doing because their goals are what they're doing seem a bit fancy and we feel like, oh no, I ain't doing that. Let's add this into the mix. You don't need to be doing that. So goal setting is vital. Why is it vital? Because it really helps you to decide. And that's what I really want to hit home today. It helps you to decide and it helps you to focus on what's important to you. When we don't set goals, we are going around in circles and going around in circles all the time is like that's insanity. You're repeating the same thing over and over, and you're expecting different results when you know this is the only way it's going to turn out. You want to be effective because when you set those goals, you're able not to track your progress. And then some of you said you set deadlines. So, well, Zoe sets lifetime, but as you set those things in place, you're able to look and gauge, okay, did it happen on February? Like they said it was going to happen. If not, how long did it take me to achieve this particular thing? You're going to able to see how you can overcome procrastination because with your goals written, you're able to look back and see, okay, I said I was going to do this in March, but now I am in November and nothing has happened. So something must have happened in the midst there where you would have either procrastinated, you got, but something happened. Some of you talked about being able to visualize. That's also a part of goal setting. Visualizing that dream, having the pictures printed like what Sharon showed just now, so that you can see it every single day and it activates something in you. So setting those goals are very important because it helps you to create that plan of where you want to go. Your goals are the vehicle that will drive you to that destination, which is to that goal that you are focusing on. Now, as we talk about this even bit more, since we talk about goal setting, but there are some things that we need to really highlight. Like I said, there are 4 areas, and we're going to start with setting clear intentions. And that starts with a decision. We always say we're going to do something and we never do anything. And we say that all the time. And I keep repeating this all the time because it's something that we keep doing. You have to decide exactly what you want in every key area of your life. So as we go through setting clear intentions, I hope you have your notebooks ready because I'm going to ask you to start writing and making notes because at the end you'll see why when I start asking questions. So the first step of setting clear intention is to make a decision. So, sometimes we say, oh, I want a 3-bedroom house, or I want a 4-bedroom house, or I want this particular vehicle, or I want to go on this particular vacation. And then something happens and then you change your mind because you say, oh, when I look at the price, I can't afford that. So let me get a Swift instead of getting that car that I actually wanted. Maybe you wanted to have a Jeep, but when you look at the prices and the vary, say, okay, look, right now, Swifts are cheap. Let me grab a Swift. You may say, I want to get a 5-bedroom house, but when you go to check out your mortgage and they give you the amount and they say, oh, based on what you're working, your salary, you don't qualify for that amount. So you decide, okay, well, let's get a 2-bedroom house because I just want a house, right? And you start to change. You're not deciding on what you want. When you're setting your goals, you have to be clear and make clear intentions of what you want, regardless of what it looks like. You don't want persons to be saying, you don't want to say today I want a blue car and then tomorrow because the blue car is more money, you change your money, you take a red car. You're not deciding on what you want, you're just taking what's available. And that's not how you take control of your life. So decide today exactly what you want in every area of your life. So how do we do that? So we made some simple steps. So the first thing I want you to do, when we talk about deciding and setting clear intentions, I want you to imagine that there are no limitations on what you can have, what you can be, or what you can do. Nothing limits you. Right now, we're like children, like kids, when they come to their mother or their father, they start calling for all these things. They don't think about price. They don't think about the possibility. They just go like, can I have this? Can I do that? Can I do that? Trust me, I don't have children yet, but I have some godchildren. And let me tell you, when they come to me and start talking about things that they want, in my mind, I'm like, did you think that through? They just think that true because they don't think. So today I want you to think like that. I want you to go back to that place of that young stage where we just imagine. And I want you to set them down in these 4 areas as we're looking at spiritual, family, income, and health. These are 4 areas I want you to start looking at. And I want you to just think for a moment. If you could get anything in life, what would your life really look like? I want you to write that down. What would your life look like in these 4 areas? And I'm going to break them down for you. So let's look at family. So if your life was perfect right now, don't worry about what they say, they're expecting. They say right now where inflation is there. They said they're expecting us to go into a recession. When you listen to the news, they just give you all these scare tactics. That's what I call it because I don't watch the news. A lot of my friends say, well, you don't watch the news. Why? Because it just makes me depressed. I don't want to be depressed. If it's really, really bad, trust me, somebody gonna message me, somebody gonna call me, and I can know I ain't got time for that. So what you're doing is that you're listening here now, what your life will look like. perfect as a family, if you had the family that you wanted, with relationships. If you're not having a great relationship now with your mother and father, or maybe your siblings, what would you want that to look like if it was perfect? Write that down. What type of lifestyle would you want to have? Would you want to purchase, brand new clothes and not be like me when I was younger? My mother told me and my sister the only brand name we're going to get is brand bright because she ain't got no money to afford no brand name clothes, and that's what we're going to have. But what if you can think about that thing that you wanted, the lifestyle that you wanted? How many times you're going to go to the salon, get your hair done, get your nails done? Are you going to have someone come over and do your makeup? Where you're going to go, what are some of the places that you're going to go and dine? How about not eating every day and you decide, let's just have a chef today because I don't feel like cooking. You can call in a company, a cleaning company to just clean your home. What would that lifestyle be for you? I really want you to think. You really think deeply and just break down, and I hope you're not in a place where you're very distracted, because I know that can prohibit you from really going deep into your imagination, and I really want to get you there. So vacations, what type of vacations would you want to go on? What are some, do you want to go to Dubai? Do you want to go to Africa? Do you want to go to London? Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to the US? Where do you want to go? Some type of exotic place, eat food that you can't pronounce or spell. Like, come on, I want you to go there. Write down those places that you would go on, you would take your children on, take your family on. How many children would you like to have? If you already have children, would you like to have more children? Would you like to adopt children? Would you like to give back to children homes? What type of thing will you do as it relates to family? I want you to really explore that today, because we are really thinking. You see, when you begin to set goals, it forces you to think. And the reason why we struggle with this is because we don't like to think. Because we live in a society that is microwavable. You go in, you come out quick. We don't want the time. We want convenience. We don't have the time for that. But when you stop and you really take a moment and you really start to think and you start to reflect and you go too deep, people say, oh, it's personal. But it has to be personal because this is your life, right? This is your life that we're talking about. So as you write those down, and I hope you're writing, because at the end I'll ask you some questions. So you've written down, as I kept talking there just now, you've written down the things that would make your life, what would be perfect for you in those areas of relationship and lifestyle and vacation and children. If there was anything that I missed, write it down to as well that you would want to have for you and your family. Now that you've done that, let's look at the next area. So the next area we're looking at here now is what? This is the question that you now have to answer yourself. What would you have to do to achieve this goal? Because here's the thing, we've written all of those things. Remember, we're talking about decisions, because decisions have to be made. So you just made a decision just now. You just said exactly what you would want it to be if your life was perfect. But now, what would you have to do now to achieve this goal? Because there are some things that you're going to have to put in place. And I want you to answer that question as honestly as possible. What is it about you right now that you may have to change? What is it about you right now that you may have to implement? What is it that you would have to do to implement this goal? And then once you've written that down, I want you to tell me what would be your first step. What is the first step that you would have to take to be able to have that perfect lifestyle, that perfect relationship, to be able to go on those vacations that you always dreamt of as a child, that you would want to do with your family? What would the first step be? And I know most times we say the first step is to start. And that's correct. Just start. But how are you going to start? How are you going to put those things in place? How are you going to make those moves that are necessary for you? Because your situation is different from anyone else. And there's certain things that you have to do that someone else may not have to do because of their circumstance and because of the situation that they're in. Now, let's go on. We're looking at income. If your life was perfect right now, what would your income be? Listen, any number is a good number. It doesn't matter. I know I did this a time with a friend, and I remember they were saying, oh, like, how you could say $1 million? How you could say $1 billion? Is that realistic? Of course it is. It's realistic because you're deciding today what you want. You make the decision and the plan comes into place. Everything else comes into place afterwards, but you first have to make that decision. So if your life was perfect, what would your career be? Or do you even want a career? Maybe you want to be a stay-at-home wife. Maybe you just want to be someone who is who owns a business, multiple businesses. Maybe you just want to increase your earnings. How many earnings do you want to make? What type of investments do you want to have? Do you want to have investment in banks, or do you want to invest in certain corporations? Do you want to be able to buy what they call bonds? Do you want to buy? What do you want to do? Yeah. What do you want to do? What exactly would you want that to look like? And if I'm going too fast for you, please feel free to slow me down, because I can get really passionate about this, because this is my space. This is what I do every single day, and I enjoy doing it, and I don't want to lose anyone. I really want to make sure that you are with. So if you feel as though I'm going too fast with this said, and make you should slow down a bit, and I'll slow down. So let's look back at the income. So we're looking here at income. We're thinking about how would your life be if it was perfect. What career would you want to have? You know, what type of position? And when I say position, I'm talking about if you decide that you're going to work a job because that's what you want to do. You're passionate about working for someone, working in a particular area. And listen, nothing is wrong with a job. And I know sometimes, most times when I speak, people may think that I don't like jobs, but I would have to be very ignorant because I'm still working. I'm still working. I still have a job. I have not been completely freed as yet. So nothing is wrong with a job because the job helps you to get things done. If that's the area that you want to go, then decide what position in that job do you want to take. Do you want to be the supervisor? Do you want to be the manager? What do you want to be? What's the position? What would that look like if you were in a perfect world right now? What would the earnings look like? You know, your salary. What type of money would you want to work for? Would you be the one who would invoice them instead of them deciding what that role is worth? Where would you want to be? Would you want to do those jobs where you travel a lot, where you have some friends who are always traveling for work, consistently traveling? I remember another friend, and this blew my mind because I didn't even know that this was something that people do in some jobs. But she traveled for work, and they gave her $8,000 spending money. Yep, $8,000 spending money. Well, I would not have been spending all of that. I'll probably spend like $2,000 with that. The rest of the same thing with that. But she had $8,000 spent money, and she could go, and they were still paying for her accommodation, they were still paying for her travel, they were still paying for her food, and they paid her well. But that's because of the career that she had. So where would that want to be? Would that be something that you would want? Would that be something that you would say, okay, if I'm going to work for this corporation, this is how I want them to treat me? What type of benefits would you want in that organization? How would you want them to treat you? So we're talking about all that. I mean, technically, we're deciding today what are these intentions, because this is leading to what you want to achieve, and not only for this year, because yes, we're looking at 2023 now, but we're really setting it up for the future, because once you get this set in place, it's just going to roll off, and everything's just going to keep going, because you've already set the tone. You've already set the tone for how you're supposed to be treated. So you're supposed to be treated like royalty because that's who you are. So you set those things in place. And again, I have to ask, what would have to happen for you to achieve those goals that you listed on the income? What type of job would you need to have? Do you need to upgrade? I'm going to say upgrade. Do you need to further your education? Do you need to have more connections? Do you need to network with more people? What would that look like for you? And I want you to write that down next to those things. What would that look like for you? And of course, what will be your first step? Don't tell me start.
Hi, Tamisha, one thing
Yeah.
before you go forward, Penelope is missing question 2. I'm not sure which question 2 she's missing, but she would like you to repeat that. Penelope, can you explain to her?
I think I did that just now for her. I saw when she said that. Didn't I cover it for you? I don't think she can speak right now, so she'll probably have to write it in the chat. I think she was referring to position, and I spoke on that. If not, you can always drop that in the chat for me, and I'll go back to it. So what would be your first step? Or what would be that step that you need to take? Not just a step to start, but you're talking about what are the steps that you have to put in place so that you can achieve that level of income that you want to achieve, and be able to invest in those things that you want to invest to as well. Now we're going to look at the other area. We're looking at health. Oh, this is an interesting one, right? This is a really interesting one, especially for us as women. If your life was perfect right now, what would your health look like? What would your health look like What would your weight look like? Are you comfortable with the weight that you're at right now? For me, I'm not. I can be honest with y'all, I'm not comfortable, so I'm doing something about it. And what would your exercise ability be like? How many times would you exercise? Would you join a gym? What would you do? What would you do if your life was perfect? And if you join a gym, would it be full membership? Would you work out and would you have a personal trainer or would you just go to the classes? What is the write that down? What will your energy level look like? Sometimes we're feeling tired, we're very fatigued because we're stressed. We're doing so many things all at once, and we're trying to what you say make ends meet. So we're trying to get this job and do this thing and do that there, and we're so stressed out because why? Money is really an issue, and we're really pursuing that. We really want to get the money. We really want to get these things done. But what about our health? Because we put everybody in front of us and we forget that, hey, we still have a say, we still have a voice because we're still here, we're still living. So we need to be taking care of what will your immunity level look like. Most time people don't talk about this immunity level, what's that? But that's what helps to protect you from those diseases and those ailments that are out there. That's what helps to keep your body going. So in order for your immunity to be at the optimal level, it means that you need to be eating healthy. What types of food would you eat? A poor man is just eat any and everything. And when I say any and everything, you would see a poor man eat chicken back. I'm not saying something's wrong with chicken back. Please don't get me wrong. You see a poor man eating corned beef. You see a poor man eating those more lower foods. But when you have money and you can take caviar and you could go and take mussels and you could go into a restaurant and spend $400 on just a main course. I mean, like, what would I'm not saying you have to do that either, but what would your life look like if that was something that you wanted? And I want you to write that down and make sure that it is clear. So I want to make a pause here because I'm seeing that Khadija is saying that Zoe still wants to know about repeat number 2. Can you explain to me what exactly you missed there so that I don't go too far and then I forget? Can you message me? Can you send me a message so that I can see exactly what wasn't clear for you and I can wrap that up for you? Right.
She responded and she said she's fine now.
Okay.
She can't speak.
Okay. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. So those are things that I want you to write down. What about the exercise gear? Sometimes something so small as simple as having stickers to go and exercise. A person said, "Oh, I can't exercise because I don't have stickers." So what type of stickers would you want? I have some people say, "Oh, I can't go and exercise because I don't have the equipment." Would you prefer to go to the gym, or do you want to have a gym at your home? Do you want to buy the equipment? Do you want to have the bicycle that you can go on at home? Do you want to have the weights at home? Would you want to do stuff? What would that look like for you? And of course, I have to ask you this. What would need to happen for you to achieve that goal? Because there are things that have to happen. Everything is attached to a cost. So there's a cost for every goal that you set. You now have to decide. If you say this is what I want, then there's a cost attached. Am I willing to pay the price? If I'm not willing to pay the price, just at the supermarket. But you go into the supermarket and you take up something. If you're not willing to pay for that at the counter, leave it. We get to the counter and then you start seeing the machine flickering and going up, and you say, ooh, ooh, ooh. But that was out of my budget. So you start to pull out 3 or 4 things because you know what? I'm not willing to pay the cost. I can't afford it. And if you can't afford it, that's okay for now. Let's see how then you can afford it so you can get the thing that you want. But identify what needs to happen for you to get there. And then, of course, what would be your first step? What are the steps that you have to take? Be honest with yourself. Most times when I have these sessions, some people, they pretend and they say, "Oh, I do this," and they speak real great. And when I say great, I mean they tell you all of the things that they think that you want to hear. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Tell me what you're capable of doing. Because at the end of the day, when this session is finished, you're the one who has to come to it. You're the one who has to gain that result from this goal that you set. The focus behind this workshop today is to get you to gain results. No longer are we going to stay on the sidelines and then at the end we're depleted and we feel depleted, and we feel as though we're defeated too as well. No more are we going to do that because we've done enough of that. 2023, brand new you. So now we're talking about spiritual. If that your life is perfect and your spiritual life can be anything you want it to be, what would your prayer life look like? How many times a day would you be able to pray? Most times we say, "Oh, I can't spend time in prayer right now because I'm busy. I have work, I have school, I have to do." with the children. I have to deal with this, I have to deal with that. What time am I going to get for myself? Then I'm going to come through traffic. This is happening. And we just rattle off. We don't have time. By the time you get home, you're so exhausted. You're like, oh my God, I didn't get to do it. Or maybe they'll just say a quick prayer in the car, a quick prayer on the bus. So if your life was perfect right now and time was not an issue for you, what would your prayer life look like? What would reading your Bible look like? How many times a day would you read your Bible? Would you go into a complete study? What would your worship life look like? What would meditation look like? Now, let me tell you something. And when we set goals, and here's the difference between those other persons who set goals. You set goals and just set goals. Once you set goals, you have plans that you can follow them. Yes, you're going to achieve a result. You're going to. But something supernaturally happens when you include God. Something supernaturally happens. So I can't come here and teach you how to set goals and not talk about God, because I will just be cheating you. Trust me, I'll be cheating. I'll be fraudulent of me, because everything that I have been able to accomplish is because I had God in the mix. It's because I decided that I was going to set him at the front. And because of that, he favored me and doors begin to open. You're setting goals, you're going to have to spend time and talk to God. Let him lead you, let him chart your path, let him tell you where to go and when to make the decision. In the past, I would never join that because I thought I had it under control. God was there, yes, but I don't really think that I needed to consult him or anything, because it's my life, right? So I decide what I want. But the thing is, he doesn't want to take control. He just want to be a partner. So when you include God as a partner in your goals, you're going to see how successful you will become, because he is there to help partner and bring this thing into fruition. So the important when we set these things in place. I know the question that we always have to ask: what has to happen? What has to happen? What has to happen in order for you to gain those results? What has to happen in order for your life to be perfect as it relates to the spiritual? What has to happen there? And then what are the steps that you're willing to take? What are you willing to do differently? And it has to be different, because it's clear that the things that you've been doing previously was not working. That's why you were not gaining the results. Something about it was off. So now we're trying to fix what wasn't working so that you can be effective and you can gain the result. Now, I also have to tell you about this. There's realistic versus unrealistic goals, right? And at any point, if anybody has any questions, just raise your hand. Let me know you have a question. I can pause and take your question. So we're talking about realistic versus unrealistic. And most times, people said, and I think I said that earlier, some people that tell you, like, how would you say you want that? That's so unrealistic. And most times when people say that to you, they're just saying that based on their circumstance. They're saying it based on their perspective, and it's because that's all they see. That's where they're at that level where they have a limiting mindset. They're very limited. They're limited to the point that, trust me, it just blows my mind that they see themselves so small when God has given us so much. He has given us so much to be able to consume, but we only take a pinch of what is there. And then when we see others going out and grabbing bags and buckets, we become annoyed. Why is it bothering us? Why is it annoying us? It's because we don't see how they're able to do it. They're like, oh my God, how is she able to do this and do that and do this and do that? It's because she's stretching herself, she's pulling herself, and that's what I want you to do: stretch and pull yourself. So when we talk about realistic goals. Realistic goals are those that have an effective plan. Those that are unrealistic, the only unrealistic goal is a goal without a plan, honestly. Because no matter what you say, if you say today I want to be a billionaire, that's realistic, but you need a plan. If you don't have a plan, that's what makes it unrealistic. So if I say, let's take this example, if I say that I'm going to be a millionaire, like, let's say by a particular time frame, do you think that that could be possible if I said that to you today? This is where you get to talk to me. If I said I'm going to be a millionaire by next year, do you think that's going to be possible?
Of course.
Because you just said, of course. What the other said? Antonia says yes. Anyone else think that that would be that could be possible? Not just for me, but for you too. If I said, that's what I'm going to do you think that's going to be possible? Yeah.
I believe it is possible, because then you would then have to ask yourself, what do you have to do to get there?
All right. That's the one. Yes, yes, that's correct. As long as you have a plan in place, sure, it's a yes. That's it. You guys are getting it really fast. As long as you had a plan in place, of course, it's possible. Let's break this down. Let me show you how possible this is. So you decide today, hey, I want to be a millionaire by next year. Let's see how possible. So let's divide $1 million by 365 days. If you do that, you're going to get $2,739.72. Let's divide that by 10. Now, why am I dividing it by 10? Because you can, how do you get there? You can decide, okay, I'm going to sell a product, or I'm going to sell a service, or I'm going to do something within those areas. And you can either be selling that product for yourself, or you can be selling that product through like secondhand, meaning that you're doing it through a company who's going to pay you commission. But nonetheless, you're either doing product or service because we know that's how you make money, right? So we divide that by 10. We divide that by 10, you're going to get $273.97. It means that you need to sell 10 products or 10 services per day. That is equivalent to $273.97. And once you are consistent with that through the entire year, you can make your $1 million. But here's the thing, life does not work like that. You may find that today you may make $273, but then tomorrow you may make $400, next time you may make $200, next time you may make $100. It fluctuates. But get this, if your goal was working towards $1 million, and by the time we reach December 31st, and you didn't make $1 million, but you made half of $1 million, is that not a great thing?
For
Of
sure,
course,
because you still put in effort.
of course it is. You've gotten a million, you got a half $1 million, so now you know how to create the other half. Now, let's say you took it a little bit smaller. You say, listen, $1 million sounds great, but I want to make $10,000 a month right now. That's where my focus is. I want to make $10,000. I've never made $10,000 in 1 month. I want to make $10,000 in 1 month. How do you do this? Again, have 30 to 31 days in a month. Divide that $10,000 by 30 because that's the mean. Most months have 30 and not 31. And once you divide that, you get $333.33. Like again, you're selling 10 products or 10 services. And it could be more. You can decide you want to do more than 10. You could say you want to do less than 10. You decide. I just chose 10 because I like to keep them in bite sizes. So you decide that. I know you're selling a product at $33, and you do that. You have to do 10 of those per day. Again, some days you may sell 8, you may sell 5, and it fluctuates. But at the end of the month, even if you didn't get 10,000, most times you will hit it. But even if you did it and you get $9,500, that's a big deal. That's a goal that has brought you results. That's a goal that has done that. But here's the question. Why would you want to do something like this? Why would you be pursuing it? Commission, why are you talking about money? Because people say everything is money, and every minute you're talking about money and money, money, money. Let's be honest, money is right up there with oxygen. Stop breathing, and you can realize how bad you need oxygen. Right now, we're here, we're talking, and it's like a no-brainer because we're able to breathe. But the time that we stop breathing is the problem. The time that money is not in your pocket and you can't buy the things that you used to buy, it's a problem, right? Because we need money to do every single thing in life. Money is important. People say money can't buy you happiness. That's partially true because if I had $1 million, I will be partially happy because I can go and buy the things that I want to buy. And why we want to talk about money, because it's not just the money, but it's the quality of life. That's what we're talking about. And your goals are fueled with money. I can't talk to you about goals and not talk to you about money because they go together. You're going to need goals to help. You're going to need money to help your goals to come through. But what's going to push you to get up and do something? Your why. You're going to have to decide what your vision is. And your vision is built on your goals, but your vision is like the vehicle now that pushes your goals to actually happen. Because my vision for my life, let's say, for example, I decide, okay, I want to be the #1 sought after international speaker. Now I have to put in work. I mean, there's Mr. Nichols, there's a whole set of people, Tony Robinson, there's John Maxwell. There's so many people on the market right now. How do I compete with them? What separates me from them? What and why do I want to do that so badly? What type of impact am I going to bring to the audience? And things that they have to ask yourself. So when you're talking about your vision, and I don't want your vision just to be about having a house or having a car, and those are the basic level vision. Nothing is wrong with them. We want them, I want them too. So let's be honest. But let's want something that's even greater than ourselves, something that causes us to change the world or let the world know that hey, I was here. You know, Beyonce has a song that says I was here. You want that when you left this earth, there's a legacy behind. Somebody can come and say, oh my God, I knew Simone Dials. I knew her because she did this, she did that, she did that. I knew Sharon Douglas, she did this, she did that. I knew Khadija King, she did this. Shanice Bradford, I knew them. I know of them because of what they left behind. So what is that key thing? That thing that is and it doesn't have to be, it could be something that, you know, that is a legacy within your family. Maybe you want to do something massive in your family that your family has never been able to do, you know, and you can set that for yourself. That is the thing that will get you out of bed every day when you don't feel like going to that job that is paying you money that you don't deserve. You deserve so much more. That's the thing, is that's going to push you to go to the job, make the money, do what you have to do on the side to hustle, and get out of the job, kiss the job goodbye, and get into the life that you want to be. Your why will fuel the how, the what, the when, and the where. You don't have to be concerned. That's not your concern. According to my friend, hey, that's not your ministry. You don't need to focus on those things. You just need to focus on what. Why am I raising goals? Why am I setting these things today as my intentions? Why have I decided that this is something that I want? How is my life going to be better? Because I have made a decision that this is what I want to have. And those are the questions that we start to answer ourselves. We want to ask ourselves the hard questions. Now we're talking about macro and micro. Just now I showed you an example, and if you remember it well, you'll see that that was a macro and a micro goal all at once. Because when you set a macro goal is the major milestone. That's you saying, I want to make $1 million by the end of the year. That's your macro goal. Your micro goals now are the smaller steps that you have to take. So those steps that you take by selling 10 products or services every single day, those are the small things. So if you wrote down earlier that this type of income that you want to have, you know, this is the lifestyle that you want, then what are the small steps that need to be taken so that you can get to where you need to be? Because that's the question that you have to answer yourself. So let's look here now. So we have macro and micro. So we break down our goals into quarters. I love to do this because to me, it's a lot easier because you don't want to be consumed so much with, oh my God, I gotta get December 31st. And then by the time you get to December 31st, trust and believe, you're trying to do everything in December. You forget that they had some months in between. You didn't do anything in between, but December has come and this light bulb went off, and you just remember, oh my God, I was supposed to do this, I was supposed to do that, and it's impossible to do it all in December. So let's chart them out in quarters. So between January to March, listen, there's no coincidence that we're here today. It's only 2 weeks into the month, into the new year, and there are things that have to be put in place. No, I'm on vacation, but I could not come and share this with you because I want you guys to be successful. I want that when I'm winning, that I can go and say, hey, check out my Queen's Mindset community because they are balling. You want to see this person, I see Shanice achieving her dream and, you know, the lifestyle that she wants for her family, going on vacation. You know, when I call Gail, Gail is saying, oh, I can't speak right now, I'm on a cruise. You know, we're going to some part of Dubai or the Mediterranean cruise. You know, when I call up Simone, I want to hear, oh my God, I'm working on the restaurant right now. We just established, we are franchising, we have different locations. I want to hear those things because I'm not just looking for me to be able to achieve great things. I want you guys to achieve great things. I want to call up Khadija and hear her say to me, okay, can I call you back? I'm about to go and sign some contracts, you know, with this particular makeup line, you know, bring out special line. I want to hear those things. And that's why we're setting the goals, because we want to be able to accomplish them. Put your goals down in bite sizes. So set your goals. You just written down these things just now. I want you to mark that to these quarters, Q1, Q2, and Q3. What's going to happen in Q1? What's going to happen in Q2? Because you just write down some stuff. You can't do everything in January. You can't do everything in March. But you can do some things from January to March, and you can do some things from October to December. And you have to decide what are those things. Yes, it might change. The path might change, but never change the goal. Never change the goal. Things you will have to use different avenues. You'll start off today by deciding that this is the avenue that I'm going to take. But then by the end of the month, things will happen. And trust me, when you make this decision today, You're gonna get challenges. You're gonna have obstacles. I'm not telling you this is scary, but we already know this is like things are gonna happen that's gonna cause you to decide, maybe no, it's not great. Maybe I should put this goal aside because I need to use this money to pay this bill. Because if I don't pay this like bill, if I don't pay this car insurance, if I don't do this, if I don't do that, I've been trying to make all these excuses. I call them excuses because guess what? God is challenging us to see how bad you want it. Because just because you say you want it, just because you make a decision today, does not mean it's going to be handed over to you. You know how to jump those hurdles and get to the finish line. There are going to be obstacles that are going to be put in place. People will turn against you. People will say things about you. So many things are going to happen along that journey, but you don't get off that train. No matter what happens, you stay on that ride to the end. You milk that thing to the end because you decided today, this is what I want. And nothing changes that. So we're categorizing goals. I love to set these categories, and you kind of went through it earlier, but this makes it a bit clearer. I set my goals in 4 categories. I do them spiritual, physical, financial, and personal development. So I want you to do this. You don't have to draw this particular thing, but you can set them down as in make a list of spiritual goals, make a list for physical goals, financial, and then also personal development. And these are the 4 key things, in my opinion, that are important to your development. Like I say, you can't do anything without God, or you shouldn't do anything without God. You want to make sure He's in the midst. So what are those skills? Because the stronger you are spiritually, just I believe, the greater you will be physically. Because once the spirit man is fed, sometimes you feel like some people start saying, "Oh my God, I feel so depressed. Like I feel funny. I can't explain how I feel, but I've heard people tell me I feel funny. Like something just don't feel right. Spirit man is empty. Nothing is happening. There's a drought. You have to feed the spirit because the spirit that lives inside of you fuels that physical and gives you that pushing and gives you that encouragement to make you say, okay, I can do this. Those physical goals that you need, get in shape, eat healthy, spend more time doing things that are more mentally challenging for you, that opens up your mind and allows you to think bigger, allows you to understand and grasp what is out there instead of being narrow-minded and thinking limitless. Those are the things that we put in place. We set those financial goals. How much money do I want to make first quarter? How much money do I want to make by halftime? Like it sounds like a game, but it's not a game. But those are the same connotations that you can use. How much money do you want to make? Why do you want to make this money? It's important because if you make this money, you know that you can pay this. Maybe you have hospital bills. Maybe you're taking care of a parent. Maybe you're taking care of children. They have fees. School fees are going up. And I just saw that they're taking up the NIS. These are paying more for NIS. Then I just saw that it's that the insurance as of the end of January, something like that, they said that insurance will now be higher. You're going to be paying more. Hey, what do you need to do? What do you need to do? And right now, the position is not to complain. The position is not to fret. The position is to decide. Decide what needs to happen so that I can gain the things that I want. Because my life is important and I need to decide. So we're setting clear intention. So the second step. Remember what the first step was? To make a decision. I just took you through that. I explained that to you, what we're doing to make a decision. The second step, you're writing your goals down. That's setting your intention because we just went through it. We thought about it. Okay, these are the things that I want. These are the things that I want to accomplish. Okay, let's write it down because we're clear on what we want, right? We're clear. We've written it down. Why are we writing it down? Because there is an incredible connection between the head and the hand. You see, when your head and your hand connect, and when you begin to write that goal down, that's where you start to get clarity, right? Because when you start to write it down, you start to engage with what is called the physiognomotor activity, right? And this is when you're active. All that fancy word really means that you're activating your visual, your audio, and your kinesthetics. That's all that means. Is that just the simple thing? You touch and you're feeling and you're really like entwined with this thing. You're able to see, you're able to hear it. If you write down, you said, "Oh, I want to go to a Mediterranean cruise," or "I want to be able to fly to Dubai." You start to hear the engine of that plane. Here when they say, "This is your final boarding call." I mean, you start to, I'm very imaginative, right? So I go there, I sit down and think about that. What are you going to have on that flight? Oh my gosh, so you're going to have those cute shoes on, you get your nails done, you're getting your hair done. What does it look like for you? Why are you doing all of this? Because when you start to do that, It goes into your subconscious mind. And when it goes into your subconscious mind, it starts to work within 24 hours. Trust and believe. You forget what you said, but your subconscious has not forgotten what you said. And things just start to happen, and you start becoming attracted to everything. You recognize that every time now, they say, okay, let's say today you decide, I want to buy a blue car, a blue Swift. Let's see, you want to buy a blue Swift, and immediately as you start looking at blue Swift, you realize on the road, you're like, man, I realize all of a sudden I see bare blue Swift passing me there. Where blue Swift, they were always passing. But what has happened now is that your awareness, because you put it into your subconscious, so you are no more aware. So every time you see a blue Swift, you're triggered by the thought, I want a blue Swift. And every time you see it, you can say, that's my Swift. That's my Swift. You can say that. Same thing. Every time you see that cruise, you start to say, all of a sudden, you go find Instagram. Is like Instagram reading my thoughts or something? I've seen a lot of ads about cruises. I've seen a lot of ads about flights to Dubai. I've seen a lot of ads about buying your own home. Why? Because you became more aware and your subconscious has already gone to work on that. And that's why it's important about writing it down. That's why it's important about speaking it, feeling it, and seeing and getting in contact with your goal. And that's what makes it possible. When I start to write my goals, I go real in depth. People say, oh my God, you're a mad man. No, I am not mad. I'm not crazy. What I understand is how my imagination works. Because as a child at the age of 4, and coming from dysfunction and seeing dysfunction all around me on it, and with my imagination, I created a lot of things in my mind. In my mind, I had the perfect family. We spoke very posh. We had dinner together every night. Sat at this long table. I saw all these things in my mind. I saw my jet landing, and I saw me walking in with my bodyguard. I saw all of that. I saw my mansion. When you arrive and you're at the gate and the camera picks you up and you speak to the camera, you come in, you meet my butler. We take your coat and your shoes. We give you comfortable shoes to wear in my house because you're not going to dirty the floors. I see all of that. Every detail, I see all of that. I want you to see all of that in your goal. All of that, every detail. You're gonna have pets. What type of pet we have, what kind of food would the pet eat? My friend was telling me the other day, I was laughing. I mean, I should know better, but I just found it funny when she first said it. So her dog is his birthday, I think it's today or it was yesterday. So she's throwing this whole party for the dog. So this dog is having a party, not just any party. This dog has cake. This dog is getting his friends picked up. His mother's coming, his siblings are coming, and they have like this pound thing in Barbados that go and pick them up and then bring them down. He has an outfit. She's having a photographer. She's doing a decoration. It's a dog. It's a dog. But that's how she envisioned it. That's what she wanted, and she went all out. To me, it was funny because honestly, I was not spending that much on the dog, but that's what she wanted. And she went on and she followed all this stuff. So trust me, that dog got a better birthday than probably you or I, based on what she did for that dog. And that's what I'm talking about when you begin to fuel your visual, your audio, and your kinesthetic, because that's what makes the goal come alive. So when you write that goal down, again, be clear, be specific, and make sure it's manageable. I'm not saying that there's no goals that is unreasonable. There's no goal that is unreasonable. Why is it not unreasonable? Because once you have a plan, you can reason it out. Once you have a plan, you can reason it out and you can accomplish that goal. But you first have to have these 3 things in there. Be very clear about what you want. When I say clear, don't say to me, I'm gonna have my first car by the end of December. What kind of car? What's the cost of the car? Where are you gonna buy it from? What's the color of the car? What the car looks like? What do you want? That's what I'm talking about. Be clear. So if somebody come and they read what you wrote, a 6-year-old, a 5-year-old, they must be able to read it and understand it, and then share it with somebody else and it not be misunderstood. That's what I'm talking about when I say make sure your goal is clear. But you want that when anybody reads your goal, anybody hears your goal, they don't have to believe it. They don't have to buy into it, but you want that when they read it, they can understand it. It's so specific. There's no guessing. Like, man, she want a black car, she want a blue car, she want a big house, upstairs, downstairs house, or she want just a 1-story house. No, it's clear. because you have all the details there. Make it clear. Now, statistics have shown us that 3% of adults have written their goals. And guess what? Those 3% of the adults that have written their goals actually have people work for them. That's what happens. Because many of us are not writing our goals, so that means there are 97% of the population who is not writing goals. And they're the ones who are working for the 3%. Interesting. But it's because they have decided what they want out of life and what is important for them to get it and how are they going to get it. Are you going to decide today what is it that you want out of life? Why is it important that you get this thing and how are you going to accomplish it? Because you matter. You do. Now, the next thing here is number 3. Step number 3, hope you're still with me. You set a deadline or a lifetime. A lifetime, according to Zoe, a lifetime. The reason why it's important for setting a timeline is because you want to make sure that you have something attached to your goal. Because that's like saying to somebody, come and show me or come and look for me, but when? So if you been saying to me, come and look for me, and you really meant come and look for me today. But because you never gave me a time, I show up next week. And then you say to me, but I ain't available right now. I can't hang out right now. But you never said. You said come and look for me. So when you set a time, you're telling your goal, I need you to manifest by this time. So I need this goal to manifest. I need my salon to be completed, to be up and running by this time of the year. And even if it does not happen on that exact time, no problem. Just reassess. Maybe something went wrong in between. Just look at what happened and let's get up and go again. And you can switch it up and you can get, but you never change the goal. You only change the tools, the path, but never change the goal. If it takes you 5 years, if it takes you 10 years, so what? Never change the goal. So many times I meet people and they said, oh, I'm so proud of you, or I'm really impressed with what you do. I wish I could have done that when it was your age. Of course you could have, but you decided to change the goal. Do not change the goal. Change the path, change the tools, change the mechanics, change the equipment, but don't change the goal. Keep resetting the timeline if you have to. Don't matter about what people say. I've heard about people who said they wanted to go to school and you see them at age 65 or 70 or 55 or something, and they're now completing their first degree. That's a major goal still. Yes, it took them longer, but they got it, because they never changed the goal. Now, what's the next one? Step 4, identify the obstacles that you will have to overcome. I talked a bit about that earlier. What are those obstacles that you will have to overcome? Because like I said, you're going to get them. So you start to think, okay, I said that I want to get my new home by the end of the year. I need a mortgage. What's the obstacle? Do I have enough money? Because when I go to the bank, they're gonna ask me for my pay slip based on my salary. It's going to determine how much the lenders are going to give me. So if I know that the type of house that I want is worth 600,000 or $500,000, it means that I need to be making a particular level of income. So this is the amount of income that I need to make. How do I get there? Because where I'm at right now, I'm not in a position to achieve, I'm not in a position where I'm making that. So it means I have to do a little bit more, right? So what more can I do so that I can achieve this particular thing? That's how I want you to think. That's what we call setting clear intentions, because you've decided and it's clear in your mind, this is what you want to do. This is what you want to have. And you just need to find out how to get there. Now, there's a theory of constraint. And this theory pretty much says that there's always a limiting factor. Trust that something is always there to limit you. And that's the one that sets the speed. And not only does it set the speed, but it sets the speed at which you achieve the goal because of the constraint. We all have constraints. There's some people that are not going to be able to stick to that goal of the gym because they have underlying health issues that they may not even be aware of. You start exercising and you feel like, oh my God, like the breath has just left my body. Oh God, I can't breathe anymore. You can't even get up those stairs properly because you weren't exercising for a while. So what type of foods are you eating? Have you gotten a checkup to see is it that you have a particular underlying illness or something that is there that can be changed? So you start to see what is it. So my question to you, what is your constraint? Let's be honest. You don't need to tell me, but I want you to write that down on your book. What is your constraint? Because there's something that is going to keep you blocked. It might not even be that. It may just be the circle that you're in. It may be your environment. Maybe the people that you are around are not people who are looking for a betterment. And every time you try to say that this is something that you want to do, they laugh or they make comments. They say silly things as though you can't do it because they never saw you did it before, so they think it's impossible. You might need to drop those friends. You might need a fresh new friend. You know, it might be the family. I won't say drop your family, you need them, but you can limit your time with them. You don't have to spend all the time with them. You don't even let them in your space as much as you do. You can limit them, give them access to only the things or the area that you want them to have access to because you get to control your space because it's important to you. So what is that thing that is right now so much? And you know that if I don't fix it, every time I put my foot forward to do something, it's gonna block me. It's gonna stop me because this thing is on me like white on red. It's just I don't know. It's like it got me in the hell and locked me and let me go. So you have to decide what that is. Like I said, be very honest because in your honesty, you're gonna get the breakthrough that you're looking for when you write that down. Next step. Identify the knowledge, information, and skills that you would need to achieve your goal. Again, if you need to go to university to further your education, then you write that down. You might not need to go to university. Maybe you may just need to go and learn a skill. You may say, okay, I'm doing eyelashes right now. And there's a particular different way of how you do lashes now. And I want my business to be top notch. So I may need to go and further my skill in that particular area so I can know how to do things. Or you may just want to expand in that business. Instead of just doing eyelashes, you may want to do brows, you may want to do facials, you may want to start to do massages. You know, you may want to do those things because you understand when you start to expand, you start to make more, and you start to get to where you want to be. You know, what is that skill? What is that thing that you need to do right now? Maybe you have challenges with communicating well. You may need to do a communication class. It's not funny, it's serious. You may need to learn how to communicate better because you may think that people are understanding you, but because you're not explaining yourself well, you're having struggles here, and that's with relationships. And relationships not only just being husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, but just simple relationships, friendly relationships. You may be challenged in that area. You may want to go and learn things about event planning. You may want to go and learn accounts. You may want to go and learn whatever you may want to learn so that you can help make yourself more skillful in the market. Because the more skillful you are, the more money you make. I have a friend, another friend, she's a lawyer, and guess what? She does nails. What she told me, Misha, I make more money in my nail business than I've ever made in law. Yes, I go to court. Yes, I have cases. But the time I have to wait to get that money, and when I sit in my nail salon and I start to do nails, I get paid 10 times and my money comes in. Right now, she's doing nail classes. She has nail classes all the time. She has about 3 or 4 different cohorts happening a year. So all of those cohorts, she's banking like over $35,000, you know, in 7 weeks. And as she was doing law just every single day, she's not making that amount, but she found a skill and she was able to better her craft at that skill. I know she's able to teach others to do the same thing that she is doing, and she's able to make the money that she wants to make so that she can have the lifestyle that she wants. What is it? What is it that you need so that you can get there? Number 6, identify the people whose help and cooperation that you will need to achieve your goal. Because it's a no man is an island. We all need help. We need help from somebody. And that's why we don't treat people badly because we don't know that day when we're going to be down at our lowest and I may need to call on a friend. I may need to call Sharon and say, Sharon, can you help me? Gail, can you help me? Bernicia, can you give me a hand? So just because you may look at somebody's situation right now and they may seem as though they're low or they may seem as though, you know, they're so out of it, you don't get to judge them because of that. You decide what the corporation that you're going to do because we're going to need somebody's help. And what type of help are you willing to take? Because you don't just want any help. That's important. Because some people come to help you, but they come to destroy. So they come and they're dressed as though they're assisting you, but they're so jealous and envious of you that they're only there to take notes and they're the ones who are your undercover enemy. People say that I know my friends are my enemies. No, you don't, because your friends are your enemies. And when I say that, in order for you to become an enemy of mine, it means that you have to know me. That's the devil, right? He knows us, right? So the enemy has to know you. And how you gonna know me unless you were close? So that's why it has to be important. When you're talking about having people along the way with you, with your vision, and helping you with this goal and achieving that thing, you're gonna need a partner to be able to dare to encourage you. When you start to feel low and you don't feel like getting it done, I may not always be available to say to you, you can do this. But if you got somebody in your close circle that can call you and say, like, I feel you slipping, I recognize that, you didn't seem like yourself yesterday. And I just want to encourage you. I want to offer you a prayer. I just want to be there for you. You want to have that. Those are the people that you want to have in your circle. So you want to be very discerning about who you have so that you can get the assistance that you need so that you can propel in your goal. Now, next thing, I want you to set I want you to set clear intentions. As you're setting these clear intentions, I want you to make a list of every person in your life that you will have work with you around your goal. This is really important. And trust me, when I started to write this list, my list is small. Let's just be honest. My circle of friends, like close friends, is really small. The ones who I know that will really push me, that will get up and fight for me and say, like, you don't get to not do this today. You get up and you go. Because sometimes you're gonna feel like, do we really have to do this? It's true, it's gonna happen. You're just not gonna feel like doing anything. But you need somebody who's gonna be bold enough and say to you, get up, or I can pull you up, or I can push you up. I got a bully there that let me tell you, if I don't move, she can call, and she only call if she coming, and she can make sure I get up. So the more successful people, all right, and you make sure you have the most successful people. What do you mean the most successful people? You want to have the most successful people to maintain the largest network of other people whom that they can help and who can help them in return. Why is that important? Because we network. Sometimes we don't see it as a network, but right now we're networking. You're learning from me. And when I start to ask you questions and you start to share with me, I'm going to be able to learn from you. It's a two-way street. It's not a one-way street. We're learning from each other. But when you're talking about that list of individuals that you want to work with in your environment to help you build that, you don't necessarily have to come and help you do the goal, but their encouragement, having them there to lean on, to bounce ideas off of, to tell things to people who you can trust, that's important for you because you can't do it alone. So you want to be a goal giver rather than a goal getter. Yes, go get it. Of course, I want you to go and get it. But you want to also give into those people too as well, who are also a part of your circle. Because yes, you want them to be able to encourage you, but you want to be able to encourage them. Because they also will have low points in their life. They also will be at stages where they feel like giving up. And you have to be ready to encourage them. And trust me. When you start to encourage others, you're really encouraging yourself. Because you're reminding yourself, hey, it's possible. I can do this. And that's what you want to do. So write that list out. Now, number 7, and I hope you're with me. Are you still with me? If you're still with me, somebody raise their hands because I can't see your faces. And I'm starting to feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, good. Okay, still with me. Good. Wait, I'm going to sleep, going to the bathroom. I had a time was doing a session, and next minute somebody was in the toilet, forgot that they were in the toilet, and you can hear it flushing. I hope you're doing that one. All right, so step 7. So your next step now is that you're going to make a list of everything that you will have to do to achieve it. So we talk about the skill. What is the skill that you will have? We write that down. No, this list now is saying everything that you will have to do. Like what are the steps that you will have to take so that you can achieve that goal that you have written for yourself, or those goals, because you've written more than one that you've written out for yourself. Now, step 8, organize your list into a plan. How do you do that? So you've listed 4 or 5 things, and you say, okay, I want to have my house, I want to have my car, I want to go on vacation, I want to go on a vacation trip, and I want to make this amount of money by the end of the year. Now, all of those things that you've listed all cost money, right? Based on what I've shared with you. All of them has a tag attached to it. So it means now that you're gonna have to do something. So how you gonna hustle it? Are you working a job? Do you have a business? If you have a business, how much income do I need to make in my business per month so that I can take some of that out of my income and set aside as my savings, and then I'm gonna take a percentage and I'm gonna make an investment. I want to be able to put money in so that I can invest and turn it over so you can have a return on your income, right? And then you got to decide, now when that money comes in, how am I going to go about buying these tickets because I want to go on this cruise or I want to purchase, this particular vehicle? What's the cost of the vehicle? What much money do I need to pay down on it? You start to organize it, start to strategize which banks are offering the best interest rates right now. Because a lot of people are offering stuff, but is it the best one for you? Can I afford that? Can I afford those monthly payments? What would I have to do to be able to afford? So these are the questions that you start to ask yourself when you're organizing your plan. And that's what helps you to gain the result instead of just setting the goal and saying, I'm going to get this car, I'm going to get this house, I'm going to get, and then there's no plan. So we need a plan so that we can follow through. That's what I call mapping the plan, mapping the vision. When you map the vision, you're mapping it by saying, these are the steps that I have to take to organize to get to that point. So in that step, one more thing before I say the next step. When you organize, make sure you list them by sequence. And when I talk about sequence, what are the things that are similar? So if in your goals and you realize that majority of the things that you listed all need money, that means that's going to go into the money category because you need finances to fund that goal. So that's a sequence right there. Out of those things that you've listed, then you need now to prioritize. Now, what are the things that are more important? Is it more important for me to get a car now, or do I need to get my house first? Is it more important for me to go on the trip, or do I need to just buy my car first because I need to be able to get to and from work? You decide what's priority for you, and then based on your priority, then you begin to map and say, okay, since I've decided right now my priority is to get my house first, what do I need to do to be able to achieve this house that I want? And you start to map it out like that. That's how you start that your clear intention, and that's your goal becomes really clear for you. Number 9, organize your list into a plan. Because of course, and we just did it, I just showed you. Of course, when you start to organize, when you start to write those things out and you listen them out into those categories, and then you're taking this stuff and putting it over here, and you're starting to structure, because what you're doing, you're building structure. Things work on structure, right? And you start having that system in place so you can easily see it, make it clear, make it clean, even when you're writing it down. I see sometimes people scribble down stuff and they say, oh, I understand what you mean. So make it clear, make it clean. You're gonna be super fancy, but if you're gonna put lines so that you can divide some stuff, and this is what I'm gonna have here. Do I need to have a budget? What type of budget do I need? And if I need a budget, what do I need to put in there? How I'm gonna spend my money? Okay, I'm gonna spend this amount of money on miscellaneous stuff. I'm gonna spend this money toward a bill, towards that. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be living tight. Trust me, when I first did this with my business mentor, honestly, I was so uncomfortable because when she started to go through what I needed to have in this, I was like, wow, I don't have no money. Because she was like, oh, no, no, no. And then it was like, oh, but left back some. She said, no, that's not how you do it. You assign everything and you must come out at zero. And to me, I was like, huh? How do you do that? And if you don't have the accounts to put those money in, then you begin to go with the envelope plan. And that envelope plan is when you have an envelope and you just write on the envelope and say, okay, let's say this one is for our bills. You write bills on it. This is the money for bills for this month. And if you say, okay, you know who's really good at this? My sister. She wasn't good at this because she wanted to be good at it. Sorry to tell you. But she was good at this because she wanted to. She was good at this because she had to. So it's important that you start to organize like that. You say, okay, this amount of money is going to bills. This amount of money I can spend at the supermarket. This amount of money I can go with my friends. This amount of money I can add to my goals. And it's important that you do that because then you don't want that when the enemy must come. People say, oh, you only have more months than money. Most times we're having more months than money because we're not organizing it. We're not planning it. And I'm talking about that because that's attached to your goals. How you begin to spend. Your spending is so important. And how you spend, because people keep saying they don't have money, but you have. But when you start a budget like that and you realize, oh my God, I spent all that money in chocolate, or I spent all that money at ice cream, or I spent all that money at chocolate. So you mean that had we got my money and they could have used that money to put towards this particular goal that I say I want to achieve by this particular time? It's really not that hard, It's really not that hard, but it's just because we don't have it organized. We don't have it set in place. And that's why we think that it's hard. But trust and believe, if I had to see some of the things that you guys write down, and it was able to guide you step by step. But in a month or within less than a month, you'd be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I didn't know it was so easy because I didn't know either. I needed help too. And that's how we know. Step 10, select your most important task for each day. So important. You have to decide every day. Every day is intentional. You're not just getting up because God gave you life. You're getting up because you're working towards a goal. You're working towards a goal that is working towards a plan, and you're working towards accomplishing that particular purpose that you have set for yourself because it's being fueled by your vision. So every single day you need to know, what am I going to be doing today? What about today is going to help me to achieve the goal that I set for my first quarter? Because we're just dealing with first quarter today. What is it that I need to do? No, I said that I had to improve on my skills. Okay, what do I need to be doing? Is there a class that I joined? If I joined the class, what do I have to do assignments for this class? What do I need to do? Am I going over the information that they sent me? Am I listening to the books that they said to listen to? Am I watching the videos that they said to listen to? Who am I listening to? What am I reading? What's in my space? What's in my environment? What am I using to help fuel and encourage me and push me to achieve that thing that I said I want for myself? But you must have one task every single day. And 11, develop the habit of self-discipline. This is so important. This is so important because we don't be self-disciplined because we are so caught up by saying, especially as we are at the adult level, we tell ourselves, I'm my own woman and I can do whatever I feel like. And that's true. You can do whatever you feel like, but that doesn't help you because if you keep doing whatever you feel like, then there are things that you said that you wanted that you keep pushing back because you're doing whatever you feel like. So you have to decide today if you go out and you want to eat something and because I am investing right now, I'm taking money aside to invest in a particular thing. Usually when you go to eat, you love to have a dessert. But when you go this time, maybe you don't have a dessert. Or maybe you can decide instead of having a 3-course meal, have a 2 and save that additional money that you would have paid for the third one and put that aside into the investment basket. Or you can decide you only have one and put the other 2 aside. You decide. But you have to have discipline. You have to be able to let yourself know, listen, I need to get this done. Maybe you set some goals and said, hey, I want to write a book. But every time you go to write the book, you get caught up with the series, somebody call you on the phone, and the gossiping, they maybe telling you nothing of importance, and you carrying on this conversation, and then you got to deal with the children, then you got to deal with this, and before you know it, you're just all over the place. There's no discipline. You have to decide, and sometimes you just have to say no. There's some people and some things that you're gonna have to say no. No is a 2-letter word. It's an English word, and it's known all across the globe. If you say no, they will understand. Trust me, they will understand. It's okay to say no. Sometimes you just have to do it for your sanity and for your ability to be able to achieve the things that you want. Because if you keep saying yes to everything, guess what? You're saying no to the things for you. So it works. You're gonna say yes. If you say yes, know that you're saying no to something. And are you okay with saying no to that thing? If you're not okay to say no to that thing, then it just can't be a yes. And it doesn't mean that you're mean. It just means that you chose yourself, and it's okay to choose you. Because if you don't choose you, who's gonna do it for you? No one, right? So then the final one, practice visualization on your goals. Like I said, have them printed out like what Sharon did. Have them printed out on your vision board, have them printed out on paper, put them on your phone as a screensaver, put them on your laptop, put them inside of your chat at WhatsApp. Allows you to know that each chat can have a different picture. You can do that, put that inside of there, And I always talk with this and they laugh at. I have from 2016, I was on this journey of finding my husband, right? Or being prepared for my husband. But honestly, I don't want to find him, you need to find me because that's what the Bible tells me, right? So I started being prepared. And my friends were laughing at me when we went to this hotel. And I started looking for rings. And they were like, well, if your husband can find you, were you looking for rings? I was like, no, I'm looking for the ring that I want. Because when he comes, right, he needs to know what I like. So this is what I like. So I started looking for the ring. I took pictures of my ring, and I just take pictures of my ring. I went to the jewelry place, and I took a guide. I think the guide that I know. He ain't nothing to me, but he came, and I told him to put it on my finger. I took pictures of him putting it on my finger. I'm visualizing, I'm visualizing because the left hand still empty. I'm visualizing to put it on my finger. Take pictures of him putting it on my finger. I started taking pictures of the different places that I'm gonna go, these paths and stuff like. I started taking pictures of each other, like just people in different settings, the type of conversations, I written the type of conversations that we would have, the things that we would do together, the type of ministry that we would do. All of that is rich now. The wedding is already planned. If he shows up tomorrow and he says, I want to marry you, it's a yes. Because I already know where I'm getting married. I already know what it's going to cost me. I've already started talking to wedding planners. I already know what my dress is going to be. The designer is already on check. She's even thinking I'm insane. I already tell her what I'm going to be wearing. She has the picture, the photo of it. We know what material we're going to be getting. She's going to be traveling for the material soon. And he has not even arrived. Right? And that's what we talk about visualization. I'm not crazy. I'm visualizing. Right? I'm visualizing the life that I want and what I want to have in place. And that's how passionate you have to be about what you want. For me right now, my next step is my husband. For you, it might be something else. But whatever that is, passionate about it. Visualize it. Have your pictures all over the house. Put it in your bedroom, put it in your bathroom, put it inside of the living room, put it all around you. Make sure you have it there so that whenever you get up, you see it. You're reminded, 2023, I would have this, or this particular month, I would have this by then. This is when it's going to happen. You start to put those things in place and see it as though it's already happening. Sit down, close your eyes, feel it. Another thing I did when I wanted to get my first car, I remember I had no starting a job right out of university, and I had to take the bus, and I was so fed up with taking the bus because every time you take the bus, I had to take those yellow buses, and you know about those yellow buses, and all these people with trample, and so you got your hand holding on. If you ain't getting seat, God help you because it's body armpit close to your nose. It was so uncomfortable, and I had to take that bus every single day. I'm gonna get off. I had to walk over, not a complete hill, but it's like a little slope, and I had to walk to work. So by the time I got work, I sweaty. And I remember I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And I remember I found this video online that my mentor had told me about, and I think it's called the secret of something. I can't remember. I probably drop it in the chat so you guys can listen to it. And on that audio, the guy was talking about visualizing the car that you want. How did he even know? Because I was so fed up. And I had the car already on my dream board that I wanted and everything. But guess what? I made this error. I kept saying I wanted a car, I wanted a car. I didn't decide the type of car that I wanted. I didn't say like what color, was the model, was the make, nothing like that. I said I just said I want a car. Because honestly, I was so frustrated. You could have given me a jigger and I probably would have driven it because I just didn't want to take the bus. So when I decided that from listening to the audio, I have to declare. So I said, okay, that's the problem. So I said, okay, I'm gonna have a Nissan Tia, it's gonna be 2012, it's gonna be white, it's gonna have these rims, and then list all that stuff. And I put it on my dream board. Then I had the audio and I was listening, and the audio, he said, feel the engine. He said, close your eyes, hear the engine, feel the wheel. And usually people were thinking that I was crazy because I would be walking, I could completely close my eyes, I would close one eye, but I was so into this thing and I could feel the engine. I didn't hear the sound of the engine coming up, and I'm saying, this my car and got a little exhaust, and I'm going up this hill, like I'm turning this corner, beating his horn at this particular person that at the bus stop, good morning. Not because that I know them, but just because, I get my car. And it was doing that every morning. I did that morning for a good couple of weeks. And did you know that same year, by the end of this, just before, I think December 17th, to be exact, to 2017, I got my car. I went to several different learning officers, and all of them turned me down because I didn't even have a job for a year. And they were like, oh, you have to be working for at least a year. You need to be able to track your finances, Are you not, And everybody was saying, no, 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 no. But I was so sure that I was going to get my car, regardless of what they told me. I remember walking to one and she said, oh, you have to pay like almost $1,200 in order for them to run the thing, and then you get it. I was like, that's a lie. The devil is a liar. I left there, went somewhere else, and said no, they said no, they said no. I went to this other car place. My father kept saying, get a Swift, get a Swift. I'm like, nope, that's not the vision. The vision is a Nissan Tita, and it has to be white and it has to have rims. But he keeps saying, get this, and we would test drive these Swifts, and we would do all that stuff. And it was not what I said that I wanted. Again, be careful. Because when you start to visualize, people start to hand you things that you never said that you wanted. And you got to decide how bad you want it. Because if you're so desperate, you may miss the goal and settle and accept something else, thinking that, just having this temporary. And then you end up in a space where you should have never been. And I takes you longer to get back to the real thing that you wanted. Luckily for me, I was determined enough to not accept what he was, because everything he was telling me made sense. It was cheaper, it was better, it had everything he said was making sense financially. But in my mind, that's not what I wanted. So I didn't settle for that, and I decided I was gonna wait. And within a few days, I found a company, and they were able to. I would get the loan from them. I got the vehicle. When I turned up at work with the vehicle, even the boss was trying to figure out how I got it, because I was only working for like 6 months. And I told them it would have it's really impossible because you're supposed to work for a year. But I was so sure. And it wasn't only just because of visual limited, but I included God in it too as well. And he was the one who helped me to get that favor, and I was able to pull it off and drive my car, and I was able to have it. No more standing in them buses with the sweaty armpits. I was good to go. I could turn the car on, blow the horn, and wave at the people like what's up. Now we're gonna go into groups now. And as I put you guys into groups, this is where I get you talk, because I don't want to just do all the talking. I want to hear from you. And as you look at the screen, we're talking about a descriptive affirmation. I want you to be very descriptive. You've already started, because as I was teaching, just as I was sharing just now, you were writing down your goals. You were writing down what has to happen. You have all that information in your notebook already, because you've been doing it. So now this is where you put it into a letter. And this is the letter that you're going to write to your future. I'm going to give you 7 minutes to write your letter. I'm going to put you in groups. Let me see how many people that we have first. So I'm going to put you in groups of 2. Now, each person is going to have a partner. And with your partner, you're going to be sharing your vision, your goal as you write. You'll take I'm going to give you 10 minutes to fill this out. So you take the first 5 minutes, and you can decide, and you start writing out, and then you can share with your partner as well. When we return, I'm going to get a person from each group. I'm going to decide who that person will be. It doesn't have to be you could just write a paragraph for now, because I know time constraints and we're not able to write everything right now. But if you're not able to do it all now, I'm going to go back to it and finish it. But I want you to write this letter to your future. And when you write this letter to your future self, this is what you're going to be telling yourself. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am whatever that may be. Whatever that may be. Okay, no problem, teacher. And you want to write that, right? In that group as you list that. So I'm going to give you that time now and get you into groups. Everybody still with me? You guys being so quiet. Yeah, okay, good. Good. Yeah. And you're into groups now. And remember what you're writing on. I'll come in and check in. If you guys have any questions, you can ask. Oh wait, hold on 1 second. I just recognized something. I have to set the time. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I had to recall the rules because I didn't have the timer. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to put the timer in so I don't have a problem like what happened last time. One second. I- I- Okay. Hold on. What is happening? Seems like I have an office. Hang on. All right, guys, let's go. Okay, so we are back now. Um, I was speaking to some of you guys as I joined your rooms, and I recognize that some persons still wasn't quite clear on what you were written on. So I want to give you guys an extra 5 minutes just to finish up. So I can explain again for everyone. So when you write your letter that you're writing to your future self, you're going to start that letter by saying, I'm so happy and grateful now. All right. So if you want to accomplish a home, a car, whatever the main goal is for you, you start off with that main goal. You can write in all the other goals too as well, but for the purpose of this exercise, we're just using one goal so that you can give me a summary and not everything, because I know it's going to take a longer period of time for you to write that out. So you will say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my 2 bedroom, 4 bedroom house. It has 2 bathrooms. As you said, 4 bedroom house. It has 2 bathrooms. The island kitchen looks this particular way. We have like marble tiles. You know, I have a playroom. I have a movie room. In your movie room, what does that movie room look like? How many seats do you have in that movie room? In your bedroom, what's the color of the blinds? What's the color? I want you to be descriptive. That's why it's called a descriptive affirmation, because then you're able to write that out. So you're going to list every single thing about what you are happy and grateful for being able to achieve into your future self. Everybody with me? If you're with me, just raise your
Yeah.
hand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. All right. So I'll give you 5 minutes, and I'll not put you back in the room or anything. You stay here and just I'll mute myself, and then you guys have that 5 minutes to finish up.
Hi, Kamisha.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to discuss what we write with each other.
Yeah,
Mm.
you were supposed to discuss that with each other. You won't go back to your room because I was gonna let y'all stay here and do y'all.
Sorry, I just got knocked out.
Okay, no problem. I was gonna let y'all here and let y'all just do it, finish up your own instead of putting you back in your room so that you wouldn't get left. But you wanted to go back to the room? You guys want to go back
Yes,
to the room?
I want to go back in my room with Denisha and Antonio.
Okay. All right, no problem. So I can set the timer then. And you guys go back into your room. Just make sure that everybody clear. I know Antonia just reached on, so I'll repeat for her. So we're going back to the room and you're finishing up your descriptive affirmation. So this descriptive affirmation is a letter to your future self. You start off by saying, I'm so happy and grateful now. And whatever that main goal is, if that goal for you is your car, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my Hyundai Creta G is white. It has trimming of black. The rims are silver. And it's a four-seater. You know, it carries this particular still like you give it as descriptive as possible. The seats are lined with white or lined with black. I have like some red. You know, the engine makes this particular type of sound. So that's what we mean by being descriptive. Make it as descriptive as possible. And that's what you're writing out. So that's your future letter to yourself about that goal, that one goal. For the purpose of this exercise, you're not going to be able to write all of your goals. So you have more than one. So you just want to choose that one goal and you want to write a summary. But afterwards, you can go back to it and you'll write out that full letter to yourself, including all of the things that you want. So then it reads like a full letter where you say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my house, what type of house it is. I'm so happy and grateful now that I had it, so I describe what part it is. I'm so happy and grateful now about my husband, so I describe what type of husband he'll be. And you describe it all to yourself and you make sure you're talking about yourself in the third person, put your name in it. So when you read it, you're repeating your name because you're activating something as you do it. So I'll put you guys in the room now and you have 5 minutes on the clock. All right, welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to need 3 volunteers to share with me their letter to their future selves. So any 3, doesn't matter who. If you want to share yours with me, just go ahead and raise your hand. All right, Antonia, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Mine might be a little on the short side, but I will try to be as descriptive as possible. I am so happy and grateful now with my white, gray, and royal blue house that consists of 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths with a pool, a 3-car garage, and a property of 1 acre. And that is how much basically, yeah. But basically, that's what I was. That is my dream goal to accomplish within the next year or so.
Yeah, awesome. So what I would add to this now, as you continue to raise it, give me the feeling and stuff. Talk about how you feel when you walk in the room, what the bedroom looks like. Give me all the description on that. You know, talk about the cost.
Sorry, I didn't hear you because I was getting an incoming call.
Oh, sorry. You can hear me now? You can hear me now?
Yes, please.
So I said what I would add to what you shared so far is I want to talk about the feel, like how you feel. Talk about how you feel walking into your home or collecting your keys. I want you to give me the feeling of the thing, like how it makes you feel, how happy you are in that space, and who you sharing that space with, when you want to be able to accomplish this by. Give me some more details like that and write it all the way out. And when you finish, write it out. If you can, type it and print it and stick it in your room, or if you just screenshot it and put it on your phone or something like that, something that you can see every day. Because this letter is for you guys to read every day. Because this is your descriptive affirmation to yourself. You know, everybody do affirmations, say that I'm so happy, grateful, know that I'm blessed, or somebody say like I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm bold. But no, your affirmation is actually what you are going to achieve in the particular timeline that you would have listed. So that was excellent. All right, so 2 more persons. Let's go. I can volunteer or I can pick a soldier. I mean, I have any volunteers, so I may have a soldier there. Maybe still a soldier. All right, Khadija, go ahead.
Let me read mine. Oh,
go ahead, Pam. Go ahead, Pam.
So I did it. That was fine. Dear future self, I am so happy to be spending my 2 weeks honeymoon in Europe. My handsome husband and I are traveling to many places. We are eating lots of pasta in Italy and are having many canal rides in Venice. We are taking lots of beautiful pictures by the Eiffel Tower and riding bicycles in Denmark.
Mhm.
And tomorrow we'll be using the first class train from Brussels to London. Is all I wrote. So I
But that's
don't know.
awesome. That's good. You're on the right path. All
All
you
right,
need to do
thanks.
is to list the areas, the multiple destinations that you
Mhm,
just list them out so that you just
mhm.
want to where you end up where you want to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
All
that's
right.
good. That's awesome. All right. So final person.
Don't want me to go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. Tell me.
I ain't finished, but I'm over here reading the book. Dear Khadija, I'm so happy and grateful now that you are closer to God, you're in Bible study and consistently attending church. I'm so happy and grateful now that you are a successful cosmetologist who has added brows, waxing, and eyelash extensions to your beauty menu. And you're making the minimum of $3,000 per week. I am happy and grateful now that you have your own five-bedroom home with the most creative accent pieces, slash decor, a pool, movie theater, beauty room, conference room, games room, a huge kitchen with hidden cupboards, walk-in pantry, and refrigerator, 5.5 bathrooms. I am grateful that this home has a surround security system with a drive-in. I am also happy and grateful that this home brings you comfort and peace. That's how far I get.
That's excellent. That's really good. You hit everything. You hit the audio, you hit the kinesthetic, and you hit the visual. So that's good. So all it would say is continue to finish it up. But work on the additional goals that you want accomplished and let that same thing as I told Antonia. When you
Mhm.
finish, type it out, print it, or if you just type it out and screenshot it and keep it on your phone or put it someplace that you see all the time so that you read it every day. But that was awesome. Thank you
Yeah.
all for participating. Good. So now we already know how to do that because you guys have it. You've heard from Pam, you've heard from Khadija, and you've heard from Antonia. So even if you didn't start writing yours or you didn't get to finish yours, they have now given you some idea in terms of what needs to be done. So we're about to wrap up now. So let me get you to the final, coming on to the end of the presentation. I hope you guys ain't getting tired or sleeping on me. All right. All right. So now we've written this and we've got our affirmation. We know this is our future language ourselves and we know what we're going to be reading out daily. Now we're going to start talking now about procrastination because, phew, boy, you just said all of that beautiful stuff, everything you're going to name, but this is demon called procrastination that's going to come and it's going to make you feel like you don't feel like doing it now. But where is it coming from? So how do you procrastinate? You first have to stop making excuses. Stop making excuses. What are excuses? When you tell yourself, no, it's not a good time. Maybe give myself more time. I don't think that I can do it right now. I don't think that I'll be the best person to do it. I think that I need to get this done first. That I think that I need to put this in place first. That you start making a lot of excuses. That does what we call excuses because you don't need to do all of that first. You just need to do it, and then everything else falls into place. Take action right away. So today, you write your goals down. Today, you did your affirmation. You write up your affirmation as your future letter to yourself. You take actions right away. What are the things that need to happen? No. What can I do? No. You're not going to get to do everything now, but there's something that you wrote down that you're able to do now, and you do it now. Clarify your priority. Make sure you know what is priority and what to take back seat. Because everything's going to seem important, everything's going to seem urgent, but trust me, it's not a priority. So you now have to decide, okay, can this wait? And if it can, let it wait and deal with what you need to do with so that you can get to what you want to get to. Break down your task into manageable steps. Don't try to do everything at once. Like I said, we're doing it by quarters. So we're dealing with the goals that you want to accomplish between January to March. And you select the goals from among the list of goals that you would have written. And you decide, let's say you have 12 goals. You decide, okay, I want to complete 3 within those 3 months. It's like you're doing a goal a month. So January, this is what I'm focusing on. So you have one thing that gets your focus, gets your time, gets your action, and gets your action. Because if you try to do everything, all at the same time, you never get it done. There's a saying, if they are a jack of all trades and a master of none, that's what you will become if you try to do it all together. So put it into smaller sizes, break it down into micro bites, and do it like that so you can get to the macro. And that helps you to beat procrastination. But then there's something else that happens with procrastination that a lot of us do not understand and we don't even think of. And this thing, I have a video here. I'm gonna play it for you shortly so you guys can hear that. But before I play that video, there's this other thing that comes up a lot. It comes up a lot, and we don't understand. Why is that I keep like procrastinating so much? Like it's a bit more than just you procrastinating. Actually, something else. And after this video, I'm going to show you. Let me go ahead and play this video. Just make sure. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Just make sure my sound is shared with you. Okay, you should hear that.
Do you know that a third of Americans feel dissatisfied with their lives right now? That is 100 million people. That's insane. What's interesting about being an adult is that when you become 18, nobody tells you that it's now going to be your job to parent yourself. And by parent yourself, I mean it's your job to make yourself do the crap you don't want to do so you can be everything that you're supposed to be. And you're so damn busy waiting to feel like it. I'm going to tell you everything I know in less than 18 minutes about how to get what you want. So I want you to take a millisecond right now, and I want you to think about what you want. Tomorrow morning, set your alarm for 30 minutes earlier. And then when it goes off, take those sheets, throw them off, and stand up and start your day. No snooze, no delay, no I'll just wait here for 5 seconds because Mel's not standing here. Do it. And the reason why I want you to do it is because you will come face to face with the physical, and I mean physical, force that's required to change your behavior. Is because in any area of your life that you want to change, there's one fact that you need to know. You're never going to feel like it. You would not hang out with people that talk to you the way you talk to yourself. So get out of your head. Your feelings are screwing you. I don't care how you feel. I care about what you want. And if you listen to how you feel when it comes to what you want, you will not get it because you will never feel like it. And you need to get outside your comfort zone. It's not about taking risks. It's about getting outside your comfort zone. Those first 3 seconds when you push yourself out of bed, they blow. But once you're up, it's great. So one more thing that you can use, I call it the 5-second rule. Your mind can process a facial expression in 33 milliseconds. It can move pretty damn quick. The other thing that it does very quickly is if you have one of those little impulses that are pulling you, if you don't marry it with an action within 5 seconds, you pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. Kill it. If you have the impulse to get up and come dance while the band is playing, if you don't stand up in 5 seconds, you're going to pull the emergency brake. If you have an impulse about you were inspired by somebody's speech today and you don't do something within 5 seconds, write a note, send yourself a text, anything physical to marry it with the idea, you will pull the emergency brake and kill the idea. Your problem isn't ideas. Your problem is you don't act on them. You kill them. It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault. You're doing it to yourself. Stop it. I think when you feel stuck or dissatisfied in your life, it's a signal. And it's not a signal that your life is broken. It's a signal that one of your most basic needs are not being met. Your need for exploration. Everything about your life, about your body, grows. Your cells regenerate, your hair, your nails, everything grows for your entire life. And your soul needs exploration and growth. And the only way you'll get it is by forcing yourself to be uncomfortable.
All right, so you see there, based on what Mel shared, the 5-second rule. That's what helps you to take action right away. When you know you have to act on something, give it 5 seconds, get it done. Don't procrastinate. Procrastinating, the thing is, procrastination really comes from part of procrastination, but that's not the whole thing. But part of it stems from feeling stressed or feeling overwhelmed. The reason why you are continuously putting off something is because you feel stressful, you either fear it or you feel overwhelmed. It's usually those top three things. That's the reason why it's not happening. You're not doing it because you're afraid, oh my God, maybe I can't do it, or you're afraid of fail. You're afraid, so that's why you procrastinate. You're not doing it because you feel overwhelmed. You have so much work going on and you know you're stressed about everything. So you just try to like, put everything aside so like, diet down because it's just too much. And that's why it's not happening. If you look at yourself, look at your habits, look at the way how you have been doing things over the years, you'll be able to analyze yourself and see, so I was stressed about this thing. I was worried about this particular thing. And sorry, excuse me. And that's why it was not happening for me. Now, like I said earlier, there is one more thing.
Do you know
also,
that
you have to identify in terms of we talk about procrastination, and you have to identify if you have ADHD, because procrastination is plays a major role in ADHD. What is ADHD? Deficit hyperactivity disorder, and this can be categorized into two behavioral problems. It's the fact that you are not attentive, so inattentiveness, difficulty of concentrating and focusing, or you may be hyperactive and very impulsive. And most times we say, "Oh, that's not me. I got ADHD. That's not me." But there's some things that help us to understand if that is us, and I'm going to take you to that so that you can see. But most adults tend to have there are not most adults, there are few adults that have ADHD. They don't recognize it until they become an adult. Because as they were younger, people didn't realize, people just figured you're just a child. And when I first heard about ADHD, I thought that only children would get it. But that's not the case. You have adults who have it. And that's where you find that they keep. So have you ever recognized that you will start to do something and then before you know you stop it and then you do something else and then you stop it again and you do another thing and then before you know you're like, like you just feel like you're all over the place. You just started things but nothing you're finishing. And these are some key things that help you understand, okay, is this me? Are you careless? Are you lack attention and detail? You're not paying attention to a lot of things? Are you continually starting new tasks, like I said, and not finishing the old ones? Or do you have poor organizational skills? You find that, oh my God, administrative stuff is really not your thing. You can't seem to get it together. You can't seem to focus for a long period of time. That you came into this session today, yes, you really want to hear this information, but the TV was showing and it looked like something that caught your interest. Then it had a conversation happening around you, and you started to participate in that conversation, and all these other things start pulling on your attention, and you're not focusing. And it's not that you don't want to focus; you just have the inability to do it. And then you continue losing things. You're losing a lot of stuff all the time, and you're misplacing them, and things that you shouldn't that you shouldn't lose. You should know better. But it's not like, sometimes you can lose a thing, nothing wrong with that. But if you're continuously doing it, then you have to look at that. We forget a lot. And part of forgetfulness, people say you're not having enough sleep. That's true. When you're not having enough sleep, you will forget. But if you find, you're sleeping now, but yet still you're forgetting a lot of stuff, then you have to look at that too. You're very restless and you're very edgy. And when I say edgy, like your responses to people are very sharp. And that's a part of ADHD. You have difficulty keeping quiet, or like I'm talking to you, I'm having a conversation with Pam right now, and all of a sudden like you just found in the conversation that we didn't invite you. Is that something that you're doing and you're doing all the time? Those are things to look to see if you have ADHD. And then you have these mood swings. Like today you feel good, and if in a few moments all of a sudden you're just irritated by something somebody said just irritate you. You're just upset for no reason. Then you move in from being upset, you're sad, and then you go back to happy. And you're just all over the place. You can't seem to control that. And you have a quick and a bad temper, and you don't know how to deal with stress. When you're overwhelmed, everybody has to know, like the world feels as though it's crashing because you don't know how to deal with the fact that you're overwhelmed, and you're very impatient, and you'd love to take risks in activities. So you would do some things that are very dangerous, like bungee jumping or something more crazy and out there, because you are like that, because it's like this adrenaline, the adrenaline that gets you going, that makes you feel like, it's that rush because of the intensity of the hyperactive. So if any of these things that I would have listed here falls into anything that you find yourself doing consistently, because you could be some of these things, but there may not be things that are happening consistently. But if it's happening consistently, you recognize it's been happening over a period of time, then I'm not a doctor. I can't diagnose you, but I want you to go to the doctor and get it checked so that you can help yourself and you can get things done. You can now become proactive. There's medication that you can take for it. And then there's the main thing that I love. I won't want the medications that you decide deliverance is key and it helps. Get rid of that and you're able then to focus and get things done. Now, like I said, how do you get rid of it? Like if deliverance is key, that's my number one thing. But this is not a Christian based class, so I'm not here to teach you on that. So I'll tell you what is the natural thing to do, and that's the exercise more. Do some more outdoor activities, make sure you're more up and going, and that helps to deal with the stress, that helps you to keep your mood swings down, helps to be a bit more calm, helps to be a bit more focused, you're a bit more productive because your mind is being channeled in the right way and you're able then to feel a bit more stable. So that would be one of the recommendations for you. If you're a Christian and you want to take on the other offer, take deliverance, and trust me, you'll find. Now we talk about fear. So we are struggling with fear. Why are we struggling with fear? How do we block fear? The reason why you're struggling with fear is because you're not believing in yourself, or you're not believing in yourself, or believing in the thing that you're trying to accomplish. The reason why you feel stuck in that goal and fear is coming in as a hindrance because you feel like you can't accomplish it, because you don't have anything, any map or any role model or any example to follow. So your first thing, I can't do it. My mother never did it. My sister never did it. My father never did it. How am I going to get this done? So you need first to increase your belief. When you increase your belief, you're going to be able to block fear. Step two, when you face the thing that you're fearful of, you're going to be able to block it. So what are you fearful of? So you have all these goals before you and you recognize, oh my God, when I add up everything that I have here financially to achieve all of this, it's almost $1 million. And you become fearful because you're like, oh my God, I never spent $1 million, probably more $10,000. How am I going to get all of this? The trip that I said that I want to get is so expensive. You start to feel fearful of that. Face the fear. How do you face the fear? You start to do it in bite sizes because you now have to go and decide, okay, what's the cost of the mortgage? What's the cost of the trip? Start to break down and bite sizes. How can I afford it? Can I go to a travel agency and pay for it over a 6-month period or maybe a 12-month period? Maybe it could be a trip that I can take in January next year instead of trying to do it in this year, and give me these 12 months to put my money in place so that I can actually go and plan from before. And you are facing the fear. So you're no longer blocking yourself from achieving that goal because of money or because of whatever thing it is. So if it's a self-esteem thing, maybe you need to increase your confidence, see your self-worth, see your value, and that's how you face that fear head on. Step three, change your mindset. It's important, it's crucial. If you're going to be pursuing goals, I think you have to have a winner's mindset. You have to have that winner's mindset. You have to be able to have that mental toughness because challenges will come. Things are going to come to try to scare you, to block you, and you have to get up and you have to be ready to fight. That's how you block fear, with the mindset. Looking from a place of limitlessness than staying in a place of limited. If you see things in a small bubble, it's not going to work. But if you see things in a wider spectrum, then you're able now to achieve that goal. You can see, okay, it's possible. You don't need to know all the details. You just need to believe that you can do it. But it starts with your mind because your mind is powerful. The number one battle happens in the mind. That's where the enemy fights us, in our mind, by telling us that we're not good enough, by telling us that we can't. But we need now to have a response that when those thoughts come, when those green men come and sit on your shoulder, you're going to stand up and talk. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I am. Those are the answers that you have to have. Step 4, speak only to what you want to see. What do you want to see? So if what you're seeing now is not what you state for yourself based on your descriptive affirmation, then you keep speaking what you want to see. Because right now you're saying that you want to be able to travel and you want to go this place and go that place, but you look in your bank account, you're really scraping enough to cover the bills. Don't speak what you're seeing. Don't speak what you're seeing in the bank account. Speak what you're seeing in your vision, in your mind. Speak that I will have, I will travel, I remember I used to tell my sister to say this thing, money comes easy and frequently. And she would say that all the time. And trust me, money did come easily and frequently for her. Money comes easily and frequently, and money came just like that because she spoke what she wants. So speak only what you want to see and not what it looks like right now in the physical, right? Because you're taking charge of what you want. 5, control your environment. So you're going to have to control the places that you go, the people that you speak with, the people that you give access to you. Everybody can't have access to you. I'm sorry. You got to move like you are in the White House. I remember when I first went to Chicago. Yeah, Chicago. And we went to see at that time that's when Obama was in power. And we went to see where he used to live. And because I thought he used to live here, you'll be able to walk up by at least in front of the house. I could not even go on the street that his house was on. From the time we got to the street and we wanted to cross, there were these black cars and these men with these things in their ear, and they were blocking us, and they were saying, "Sorry, ma'am, but you can't come here." I was like, "Oh my God," but he ain't even there. Like in the White House in Washington D.C., we're in Chicago. Why we can't? No, why? Because they were protecting his environment, and that's how you want to protect your environment, just like you in the White House. Protect your environment because it's important, so that you block those people out, and that way you block fear. Because people come and pass their fears on to you because they are afraid to do it. They think that you can't, and they tell you, and you accept it. But no more are you going to accept that. You're going to decide today, because we're making decisions with clear intentions, that we are blocking fear and we are choosing to control our environment. Now, 6, examine the evidence. What does it look like for you? You have to examine your evidence. Yes, I know that this is what I went to the bank to get the loan and they say that I didn't qualify. What is the evidence? There are many other people who have done what you are now trying to do. You're not the first person to do it, and you would not be the last. So you want to find that person who has the story, a testimony of how they did it, and then you listen to their story and build your confidence. Because with that, you're able now to block fear. So every time fear comes with you, hey, I got the evidence. I know that Khadija did it. I know that Pamela did it. I know that Zoe did it. So if fear is coming out to tell me that I can't do it, I think I can do it because I've seen it happen before. And that's how you block. That's how you begin to block fear. And that thing you're going to do, and it's the final step here, you're going to build your confidence by researching, like I said, researching others who have done the thing that you're fearful of. That's what you need to do. Research it even before it happens. So even now you want to go to Italy, you want to go to Venice, you want to go to Paris, where you want to go, you start researching, seeing people who went. And trust me, there are a lot of people who went there and they didn't even have money to go. You see them talk about where they went, what they did. You go watch people who build their house from scratch, who didn't have the money at a young age, people who bought it. You go watch those stories, you go and listen to those people. You build confidence with that, because when you hear those testimonies and you see that people have done it, people who look like you and who look like me, whether they're black, they're white, they're millennial, whatever color they are, they're still human beings, and it means it's possible. And that's all you want. You want the assurance to see that it's possible, and that helps you to block fear. Now, being consistent. In order for you to be consistent, and this is the final 4 things that I've said you will be taking away today, because we're getting ready to wrap up. In order for you to be consistent, there's something called habits. Your habits begin to create your level of consistency. You are only as consistent as your habits. So if the habits that you're choosing to take are habits that are not gaining you the things that you want, then you recognize, okay, if my habit is, let's give an example. If my habit is every time I get hurt, the first thing I do, I go and watch TV. When I finish watch TV, I go on my phone, go on social media, I go and see who posts this, who do this, and then call my friends, and then we start talking about this. We're not productive. That's a really bad habit. And you do that every single day. You get home from work, you just go straight onto social media. You tell yourself, oh, I just winding down and relaxing and work real hard today. So you're doing that, but then you do that every single day, and it happens and it happens and it happens and it happens, and you always start to add. Those are the habits that you're creating. So your subconscious mind already knows what's going to happen when you come through that door. You're going to put off your shoes, and you go straight to your room, and you go up to your phone, and you're on your bed, and you just swiping, you're just going through, and time is being wasted. You're not using time to say, okay, let me go and read on something that's going to help me to achieve the goal. Let me see who I can contact today. You're not being productive. Those are your habits. there's different types. There's the four-way that we break down habits, and comes in this category. Before I show you this video, let me see if it's there.
Have you ever made a big decision?
Okay, it's not there yet. Here we go. Right, so this is how you understand habits. We're talking about the cue. What's the cue? So when we talk about habit, there's a cue that happens, right? And with this cue, sorry, just wanna hold on a second. Okay, cut my thing off. I'm sorry. Right. So when we talk about the cue, right? We're talking about it's something that actually triggers. It's something that cues you to know, okay, this thing is going to be happening. It cues you. So having a cue is like, let's say, let me give you an example so that makes it very clear and plain for you. So a cue would be like coming home and putting off your shoes, like I said. And that's a cue now. So that cue now begins to trigger your brain, and it triggers your brain now to tell you a particular behavior that's expected, which is to go to your room, lay in your bed, pick up your phone, and start to go through the stuff. So that's you breaking that cue, sorry. And then you're craving. You're craving now, that's the motivational force behind the habit. Now, without any level of motivation or desire, you're just craving to do this particular thing because you've become so comfortable in doing it every single day. So, and for example, that you smoke cigarettes and you start craving cigarettes, and that's all you've been craving because you've been accustomed to smoking them. You're not just craving cigarette, you're craving the feeling that you get from the cigarette. So you're craving from coming home, going to your bed and going on your phone. You told yourself that that's how you relax. That's how you break down after having such a hard day at work. So that's the craving that you're going for. You're going for that feeling, right? But then after you've done that craving, then there's something else that happens after that creates the reward. So the reward for you is that you get to lay down and relax. You get to lay down and relax and just look through your phone and do the thing that you wanted. Your reward is to be at home and to just be quiet, have that stillness. What's the next one? The response. Now the response that you are having now is a response now of you actually getting that feeling that I go watch this video and I laugh. I go see this particular thing and I laugh, or I enjoy it. I'm happy about it, right? I'm happy about it. You get excited about it. But what if you channel those habits different? Instead of coming home and going to your bed and go lay down, pick up the phone, you create a habit that, okay, I'm supposed to be going to the gym, right? Because I said that I want to lose weight. This is the season that I want to lose weight. I want to be healthier. And you decide today, okay, I want to do this. So what triggers you when you walk through that door? It's the fact that when you get in your home, you have your gym suit over the chair at the door. So that's a cue. Pick up my gym suit, change my clothes. And then when you put on your clothes, then you go now, you're craving. What are you craving? You're craving the result. And the result is that you get to lose weight. Your response for that is that, oh my God, now I can fit into that outfit that I always wanted to fit into. Now I can do this or do that because you always wanted to do it. Now you know your health is your optimal health, and that's what you want. And that's what helps us to be consistent. Those small habits that we make, and those are the things that we focus on. Those are the things that we should focus on because we're not always focusing on that. And that's the main goal of being consistent. Now, this is a video here I'm going to share with you. It's a short video, and it talks about the Jonah complex. And I recently found out about this. So, if you guys you know your Bible well, you know there's a story of Jonah who was found in the whale, was running for God, and so on. So the Jonah complex, and it explains it really well. And at the end of it, I want you to tell me if anything that was said here reminds you of yourself.
Have you ever made a big decision about a job or education or committing to a new relationship? Did you consider the positive consequences before deciding not to take the opportunity? If so, then you've run into the Jonah complex. Described by Abraham Maslow and defined as a failure to self-actualize, the Jonah complex is when we choose safety over growth. Maslow believed we evade growth through fear of what we would become or what it would cost us. This can relate to overwhelming expectations or responsibilities, experiencing possible rejection, or sometimes the unknown. Maslow believed we have two internal drives, one for growth and the other for safety. The drive for growth makes us dynamic and curious creatures, so we continue to brush with fear. Courage is needed to overcome fear and the Jonah complex, and it's made up of action, purpose, and fear management. Action comes from perceived and actual control over the environment. Perceived control comes from confidence and experience. Have you done this before, or do you believe you can do it? Actual control is about your resources. Can you make a change here? If you can watch or even imagine someone performing the action and assess your resources, then you can strongly commit to action. A purpose relates to setting goals and having a destination in mind. Well-defined goals are more achievable. Goals that incorporate specificity through something like the SMART goals system will make them more achievable. SMART goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. These components help to keep you accountable to the goal and moving towards growth. Having a strong ability to act and a specific purpose is a great step, but experience underpins fear management. The broader our horizons, the more growth choices we make, the easier it becomes to make growth choices. This circular momentum combined with action and purpose goes a long way to controlling fear. If you've ever questioned your ability to cope with success, you've encountered the Jonah complex. In this sense, it's a safety mechanism, so we don't overstretch ourselves. It can be triggered by any decision, but mitigated by action, purpose, and fear management. However, sometimes you can do everything to move towards growth, and the environment guides you towards safety. And that's okay.
All right, so does anything there remind you of you in terms of would you say that you also have the Jonah complex? You get fearful of growth, you get fearful of doing something that is different that you've never done before, and you don't have the details of how it works, and you kind of like shut down because it's new.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, then. So we can all admit at some point we suffered from the Jonah complex. But know that we understand that the Jonah complex is just that you are afraid of growth, you're afraid of something new. I know we have set our intentions and we understand that having something new, having something different isn't bad. It means it has to be different, because what we are saying here today, we're setting goals. Maybe we set them in the past and we didn't work out. Now we understand how we're going to get there. When we set these goals today, we understand that in order to achieve them, we're going to have to do something new and something different. And by doing something new and something different, doesn't mean that it's going to be, it will be scary. Let me just add, it will be scary because you've never done it. It's going to stretch you, it's going to make you uncomfortable, but you're not going to die. You're not going to break, you're not going to bend. It's just that you're now going over a hurdle that you have never gone over before because you've never gone that far before. So you don't have to be afraid now of the growth. What you do is that you see the growth as a good thing, because who doesn't want to grow? Like Mel Robbins said earlier in the video, every day our body is growing. We're getting new cells every single day and restoring ourselves. The hair, the nails, the skin is restoring itself every single day. Why is it that you are not growing? You should be growing. You can't tell me that you're still in the same level that you were 3-5 years ago and nothing new is happening except for age and except for weight. You must be doing something different in order to achieve that goal. And that's what we're going to be doing from today. We're no longer going to be afraid of growth, but we're going to embrace it. I'm going to make sure that we apply the habits that are necessary and make sure we follow our cue, which is going to take us to the craving, and then it's going to bring us the reward, and then it's going to give us the response. And the cues that you make every single day, which is small things that you do that go to your subconscious mind, the small things that you don't even think of, you got to now pay that attention, because those are the things that are funneling your goals. So this one, we're coming to an end. This questioning, not question, this quote. I got this from Jim Rohn. And he said, when you know what you want and you want it bad enough, you find a way to get it. Look at this guy. When I found this video, he was running, and he's I can't believe 60s or something like that. And this was a marathon that he did. He didn't come first, but guess what? He was fighting to get it done. He did not give up. He did not give up. He was so sure that he was going to do this thing. Look at all these young people that behind him, and he passed them out because he had a goal. And his goal was that he was going to run this marathon, and he was going to make sure that he finished it. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't even say his goal was to win. His goal was to finish it, to prove to himself that he still had it in him. And that's all he wanted. And sometimes that's all we want. We want to prove to ourselves, Bishop, you can finish this. Khadija, you can finish this. Pamela, you can finish this. Antonia, you can finish this. Sharika, you can finish this. That goal that you've written down here today, you can finish it. It is possible for you. Not only for you, but it's possible for all of us. And why is it possible? Because people have done it before. It's nothing new. I always hear my mother say there's nothing new under the sun. Everything goes in and out of style and it comes back again. I mean, she used to say that when I was younger. I didn't quite understand her terminology. I didn't think that she was just trying to sound fancy. But then you saw it. As you grow up, you see that back then you used to wear this particular type of clothing, and then you come back and you see bell bottoms back in, you come back and you see the fur tops back in, and it just goes around, it circles around all the time. People are doing it every single day. Why not you? Why not now? Why not you? But you gotta decide that. This goal that I'm putting today, I learned how to set my clear intentions. I understand how I block my fear. I understand how to beat procrastination. I understand one of the things that triggers procrastination and that makes me procrastinate, which is ADHD. That could be a possible thing for me if that's where I fall. I understand these things. I have all the details, but the decision is yours. I have brought you the information. I have shared it with you, and I've helped you to trigger those goals, to make those goals results. I've showed you how I have done it. You've seen my results. You see that I've been getting results, and I will continue to get results because I'm applying the same thing over and over and over again. Why not you? Why not now? When are you going to decide? Today is my day. When are you going to decide? Time is now. I'm not putting it off to next year. I'm not putting it off to next month or next week. I'm doing it now. I'm doing it in bite-sized goals. I'm deciding today, these are my goals from January to March, and I'm pursuing it I'm just going after it with a vengeance. Like, I just have to get this thing, just like this guy on the screen. I'm going to get this thing, and trust me, when you get those goals and you start, I want you to celebrate your micro goals. Do not stop. When you get those simple things that you do, so let's say your task was today was to fulfill this particular thing, and you did it, celebrate it, have a party for yourself, because that's going to encourage you to keep going. And once you do that and you say, hey, I started and this happened. So I said I wanted to get the house, and I went and I met with the loans officer, and now we're getting the detail. Now they want me to start looking at houses. That's a celebration. I started to look for the vehicle that I wanted. Now I'm looking for the cars. I'm going and I'm test driving the cars that I wanted. That's major. I started to look at the vacations that I want to go to. I found out the costing of them. I contacted the travel agency. I know that this is the amount of money that I can start paying down. Those are things that celebrate. You are reaching the goals. You are getting results. And then finally, when you get to the end of it, a big celebration because you've done it. And you keep doing it the same way over and over again. So we've come to an end. And these are summary. These are things that I want you to take away today. I want you to remember to always set clear intentions. Why? Because you need to decide what you want. Don't let anybody decide it for you. You decide it for yourself because it's your life. Write your goals down every single time. Every single time you write it down. And when you write it down, be specific. Nothing is impossible. Everything is possible under the sun. I see people who don't have arms play basketball. I see people who don't have feet swim. I see people who don't have a lot of limbs are missing and they're still doing things. So that tells me it's not possible. One of the guys who is and he's a motivational speaker. I can't remember his name right now. He doesn't have any arms. He doesn't have any feet. He just pretty much like moves around like kind of like swiveling like that. And he goes and he speaks to children and he does amazing thing. Guess what? He's married with a woman who have feet, who have hands, and they have children. And people would have thought that would have been impossible. It's not impossible. I see a guy who don't have hands do makeup on his own face. It's possible. So your dream is possible. Do not let anybody steal that from you. Don't care how funny it sounds when you say out loud, keep saying it and it will begin to sound normal. Create the vision that you want, not the vision that your mother tell you or the vision that your family said that you should have. Create the vision for your future because it's yours. Utilize the images to see where you are going. Images are important. It gives you a sense. It helps you to feel, touch, and taste and imagine it. It really triggers something in your imagination. Stop procrastinating. 5-second rule. Get it done. Take action. No more excuses. You're going to get the job done. Learn to identify the level of procrastination and beat it immediately. Don't give it any chance to fester. You know, don't let it fester at all. Make it happen for you. You are the woman for the job. Yep. If it's going to happen, it has to be you. It's not going to be your mother. It's not going to be your father. It's not going to be a sibling. It's going to be you. It has to happen because it's going to happen with you. Track your progress. That's where you're doing it in small pieces and bites like this. Track your progress and make sure that every time you track your progress, it helps you to build your confidence. That's where you're tracking. So you can build your confidence. Because if you were supposed to set 80 steps and today you did 40, major goal. You did half. So track your progress as you continue to go all the way down. Yes, Zoe, yes, that's his name, Nicholas. Yep, that's him. It's so arms and legs and a motivational speaker. That's the guy. That's him. And he is phenomenal at what he does. And now finally, we've come to the end. And I really want to thank you guys for staying on with me. I know I went over time a bit there because we did our exercise and it took us over. But it's always a pleasure to serve you regardless. Because I know that when you get this information, today you have made your decision that you're going to do it and you're going to execute those goals and you're going to continue to execute those goals. So I just really want to thank you for having me. And if you have any questions, I see I have Gil, she raised her hand. Feel free to unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hi, Kamisha. Can we get a copy of your presentation?
I have the recording, so what I'm going, yes, I'll share the recording with you guys. Yeah, I'll put it in the community chat, so you guys can actually see that.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Is this good? God, give me some time for it to render and fix up and everything, and then I'll post it. Anyone else have any other questions before we go? Don't be shy.
Okay. I took in everything, well, most of everything in between the party and my mother this morning, but when you start off the new year, it's like, well, I don't really make resolutions, but you start off all happy and all excited to do this, and then halfway down the road, it's not working out the way you do